Broncos week, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. It is Broncos week. We got a special guest here, one of my good friends, one of my guys, AFC West Roundtable family, man. We're going to bring him on shortly. Just real quick, man, salute to the chat, the greatest chat in YouTube history. Make sure you guys wipe them feet, man, meaning hit them thumbs up. Also, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We're on our way to 30,000 subscribers. We can't do that without you guys, man. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, man, let's give one of our brothers, man, a warm welcome. Salute to my guy, Ben, over at Sports Talk Denver, man. What's good, bro?
What is up, dude? That Raiders, it gets in your head, and it's been in my head for 8 freaking games, man.
I love it. I love it. Hey, see, we mind games, baby. Mind games. How you feeling today, man?
Nervous for this week, man. Nervous to be here. Y'all do it so big. 30K subs. That's when
we're trying, man. We're trying to get there, brother. We're on our way, man. But you know, it's a hard fought battle, man. And you're on your way too. I see you doing great things. Real quick, man. Plug everybody. Let everybody know where you are at in terms of social media, YouTube, and all that other good stuff. Because we definitely want to tap in with you twice a year at least.
Maybe I wait till after we win the game to say it because I don't want trolls, man. I can't handle it. Yeah, brand new to the game. I'm about to hit 1 year in. I'm at like 14K on YouTube, and I'm just going all in on YouTube. And
I love it.
Then I got like a side Tinder that I don't tell anyone in my family about. But no. Yeah, so just hit me up, Sports Talk Denver on there. And
do you like show Bo Nix's feet over there? Is that what you do?
My camera roll is full of shirtless Bo Nix pics. Like it's just like overflowing.
Yeah. I expected that, man. Salute to Jay Raider, man, as well, on becoming a member of the channel. My dog, I appreciate you. If you guys want to become Green Dot Gang like Jay Raider, hit the link is pinned up top. Definitely one of the best ways to support what we do over here. Helps keep the lights on over at OLV. So I got a quick question for you before we really break down this game. I have to ask you, and this is not me going at you, okay? But why should our defense, with Maxx Crosby returning to practice today as well, looks like he will play this weekend. I want to ask you, 660 yards passing, okay? Completion rate of 60.1. 1 touchdown this season, 4 picks, passer rating of 62.5. Why should we be afraid of Bo Nix and Sean Payton this Sunday at Mile High?
Well, I think it's how much Sean Payton trusts him. And I know you and I will clash on this, but I think Sean Bo leave. That's what I like to see.
My guy is a Jaguars fan, and he is probably the first or second, maybe right behind you, Bo Nix fan, the biggest fan ever. So salute to my boy East Coast Grid.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, I think how much Sean Payton trusts in him, and the fact that he's just given him the keys to this car, and it's probably not the best philosophy, but he's letting him just air the ball out. He's been on pace for throwing the ball 50 times a couple of times. And I think if you look at last week's game against the Jets, that's a really good defense. And the hurricane rain made its way up from North Carolina into New York. And he looked like he was throwing like a greased watermelon, or like picking up the soap at a P. Diddy party or something. Like he was like he didn't throw it well, neither did Aaron Rodgers. And I think he'll bounce back. And our running game finally started going last week. And if we can have that, but dude, I have nightmares of Crosby. I told you on the roundtable, I think Crosby, if he was healthy, could be defensive player of the year. Yeah. He reminds me of, like, he's every bit as good as Aiden Hutchinson. He just doesn't get all the cred that he does,
I mean, that happens when you're a Raider. You already know how it goes. We're going to talk about your defense, because I think right now you guys have like the number 2 defense in the NFL right now, which is absolutely insane. I didn't think this Denver defense was going to be this good this quick. I thought you guys had some names. You guys had some, you got the guy calling the D, pause if necessary. He's a phenomenal defensive coordinator, but you're at the bottom of the barrel in terms of offense. Why should we be afraid of you guys offensively? I'm looking right now. The Chargers, Titans, Bears, Browns, and Patriots are the only worse teams than you guys offensively in the NFL. And that says a lot because we're a few higher than you, and our offense has been stagnant all year long. Why should we be afraid of this offense come Sunday?
Yeah, I think all respect, but I do think this is an easier defensive matchup than we've had, knowing that we had to play the Steelers, we had to play the Jets, who's a terrifying defense. So I think this is a better matchup defensively, with Wilkinson and Crosby. That's still scary, but I think we will try to get to a balanced running approach. And if Javonte can be the Javonte he was his year, he did lose 12 pounds this offseason, and his lack of production early on, he faced a stacked box more than any running back in the league. No other running back had a stacked box more than 50% of the time, and 64% of his runs through the first 4 weeks were against 8-man boxes. And so the Jets didn't do that, and we finally had a run game. So are y'all bringing the heat, or are you just trusting Wilkinson? And
I think we're going to bring the heat. I do, but Max dealing with that ankle injury. I don't know how many reps he's honestly going to get if he does play this Sunday. Charles Snowden, our young pup, went out there and balled out for us last week. He's at the top of the league in terms of pressures this past week. So Christian Wilkins was all over the place, but I think Patrick Graham's going to send the farm. Look, Bo Nix is a rookie, man. He's 5 games in. Look, try to get him as terrified as possible. When you got Max coming off one edge, then you know what that looks like. That's terrifying for a young rook. If we're the Raiders, what should we be targeting offensively? Like, what is in your eyes, what is that weak spot on the offensive side of the ball? Your O-line has been a pleasant surprise, low key. You're dealing with some injuries as well, right?
Yeah. So Mike McGlinchey, who we gave the bag to, and then he was kind of nicknamed Mike McFlinchy because he hadn't been playing well. And so we have a brand new right tackle in Alex Palchevsky. But even with that, last week we were the second best pass blocking unit in the league. Mm-hmm. But man, if I were you guys, we have not seen the footwork from Bo Nix. I think you make him you guard the short sticks and make him throw over the middle, because that was what Russell Wilson couldn't do. And we still haven't seen it from Bo. I think it can be there. We just, it's all Bo Leaf at this point. We haven't actually seen it. I think you look at how we played against Tampa to go in and beat them and put 26 points up on them. But that defense isn't as good as yours. And they were without Vita Vea. And so
either way, you killed them. Doesn't really matter. You play against who's out there. And this week, we're without Davante Adams. We're not going to go too deep into this situation because we know he's on the way out. There's some guys on this offense that you may not be too familiar with. I know you're an AFC West guy. You're a football guy. But Trey Tucker, man, this guy has been a stud for us. He is our speedster. He's a guy that is going to take the top off of a defense. With Surtain out there, man, what is that? What do you guys look like thus far in coverage in terms of the passing game?
That's our strength. My fear, and last week, y'all just targeted Brock Bowers 3 times. I hope you do that again, because we need you to only do that, because we just have not had to play against the tight end. That has always been where we struggle. I feel like Surtain has locked down the best receivers in the league over the first 4 weeks, and knowing that he doesn't have to play Davante is great. I feel like a bigger tight end like Brock would just manhandle him, and tight ends can get away with pushing in a way that wide receivers can't, and so I think that would be the way to attack is if you get the run game going, your running backs out too, though, right?
Bruce is doubtful, but to be honest, man, Alexander Madison has been the better running back up to this point. He has 3 touchdowns already on the season. I believe he scored a touchdown the first 3 weeks back to back to back. He's the better option for us in terms of this blocking scheme. So I'm not too much worried about Zeus. We do have Dylan Laube, our young 6th-rounder out of New Hampshire, who was active for the first time last week, but didn't really get any reps on the offensive side of the ball. He was, in terms of special teams, he was out there. I'm expecting to see him out there as well, and Amir Abdullah also, but a former Denver Bronco, Tyreek McAllister, another guy that I'm expecting to see some reps, whether it's at receiver, running back. He's a playmaker, man. He got a little beat up this past week. He's dealing with a shoulder injury, but if he's good to go, keep an eye on him as well, because he is a playmaker, man. You get that ball, he's liable to take one to the crib, man. You remember Tyreek McAllister?
Yeah, no, definitely remember the name. Remember him like popping off at training camp.
Yeah.
Have you been playing like does Brock block too?
Oh
like,
yeah, yes.
Okay.
So he only had a few targets this past week, and we were all pissed off about that. But he blocked his ass off, man. That was one of the main reasons outside of JPJ, Jackson Powers Johnson, that was finally got some real reps. Robbie kind of got the ground game going last week. First time having over 100 yards rushing. Brock Bowers was out there blocking his ass off. Yeah. So, and I expect you guys to potentially bracket him. So there's a guy that you guys need to keep an eye on this weekend, and his name is Jacoby Myers.
Yep.
Telling you now, great footwork, great route runner. He does all the dirty work, loves to block himself. I'm telling you now, you're going to have to keep an eye on Jacoby, because I have a feeling you guys are going to try and put the clamps on Brock Bowers, which you should, because he's a generational type talent. Yeah. So Jacoby Myers is a name you definitely need to keep an eye on this Sunday.
Yeah, there's already a lot of talk that Surtain would just follow him, and that we would try to bracket Brock with Brandon Johnson, who's played real well from Brandon Jones from Miami, who took Pat Surtain's spot, and then Riley Moss, our corner out of Iowa, the only great hope. Yeah, man, he's played fantastic, but he's due for one of those get beat, and it's almost like he's feeling his oats. He's had 4 great games, and you could see, like, is that going to continue, or is, there's kind of that rookie wall. He's not a rookie, but he missed all last year. So
I know you guys are out there in Denver, man, singing Vance Joseph's praise right now, man. How has that defense changed this year with Vance out there just running shop on the defense side of the ball?
Yeah, that's been awesome, because everyone wanted him out of town when the Dolphins dropped 70 on us. Yeah. But we lost Randy Gregory. We cut him a week or two after that, and Frank Clark. And after that, like, no one gives us credit for it. We did lose to you twice last year, but we did go on a
8 times in a row.
Not just last year.
You can't just jump on the year before.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
But he has like completely just trusted his corners, and he is leading the league in cover 0. And so he actually just bumped up over Flores, and basically we trust Riley Moss, Jaquan McMillian, and Pat Surtain to hold it down, and then we're just bringing the heat. And we got, I actually think Zach Allen has outperformed Wilkinson so far. I think that's probably an anomaly, and I don't know if that can continue, because he's one of the best in the game. But we'll see if that continues for this week for sure.
What do you guys rank against the run this season?
We've done, if you look at the total yards given up in a game, it doesn't look that great. But if you actually look at it yards per carry, it's much better, and we're in the top half. But when we played the Steelers, our offense couldn't do anything. And so Justin Fields didn't even throw the ball. It was run, punt, run, punt. And so the total numbers look like people are running all over us. But when you look at it, yards per carry, we're in the top half. So,
okay. I mean, so is that the one place that we would maybe try to exploit is the run game?
Yeah, I think run game and Brock Bowers, man, if those things go, like, I think the Broncos will lose if your run game gets going and Brock Bowers has over 70 yards in the air.
And you did state that, in recent memory, you guys have struggled to guard the tight end position.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember when Kittle not too long ago had 200 yards in the first half, bro.
Yeah.
Shit. It was not good. Yeah, he almost broke the NFL receiving yardage at halftime. And then he ended up not having another catch, but yeah, it was crazy times.
So Zamir looks doubtful. He looks like he's not going to play. Max looks like he's good to go. He's out there in practice, running around like a maniac, doing Max things. Dylan Parham, our young guard, returned to practice today as well. He may be good to go. It's going to be good to see him and JPJ together on the football field at both guard spots. He's been one pleasant surprise for us on this O-line this year. We do have a right tackle in DJ Glaze, who's a 3rd rounder this year, a rookie, who's kind of been thrown into the fire. What do you guys look like at its term as that? And I know, but I want the audience to know, at edge rusher. Who should we worry about the most in terms of your edge rushers?
Ooh, that's like a huge strength for us, man. And it's cool because we got dudes who are on short-term IR who are coming back, and that's going to be a loaded position. But We have Jonathan Cooper, number 0 on our team, just a mauler. And he's on a contract year. Everyone in Denver is like, sign him now, because he's on target to be our first guy who gets 10 sacks in a season since Bradley Chubb, probably since the last time we beat you. Like, it's been that long since we've had a guy with 10 sacks, and he's just living in the backfield. So he's incredible. We got this cat named Nick Benito, who Pat Surtain. Yeah, man. A lot of people compare him to Von Miller, like his bend.
I've even heard, as crazy as it is, and I'm not going to go this far, but I've seen people try to mention the Maxx Crosby comparison with him, and he's nowhere near that.
No,
but
I'd take Max over him.
I mean, clear cut, but
for sure, I think he still could develop. And the thing with Max is like that he can stop the run. Benito is a 3rd and 7, watch out, but you don't want him in there on first down. And then on the other side, we got Jonah Ellis, who we drafted out of Utah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Who you saw his brother play last night for the Falcons. You saw his dad played in the league. I think he has one more brother with the Patriots. Mm-hmm. And as a rookie, he looks great. He's got a dirty spin move and is just living in the backfield too. And then we got this cat out of the UFL, Dondre Tillman, and he had 2 sacks his first game, and he was like the defensive player of the year for the UFL. So we'll see. That I feel really good about that. But the crazy thing with you is your game against the Ravens made me terrified, because that's the best win of the year for any team. Like offensively and defensively, you scored 1 less point on them than the Kansas City Chiefs did. And I'm like, oh, we're not going to break this streak. And then the next week you lose to the Panthers. So that's why it's just so crazy, because you have the best win and the worst loss in 1 year. And that's pretty rare.
No. In a matter of 7 days.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
Salute to Jason Corbin on becoming a member as well. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Salute to everybody here in the building. Wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button. We have our brother, man, Sports Talk Denver, our guy Ben from the AFC West Roundtable in the building. If you guys can, do me a favor, man, make sure you subscribe to our dog over here at Sports Talk Denver, man. Let's run those numbers up. We know he's a donkey. We get it. But make sure, man, because this is going to be a connection that we do year in and year out. So we want to make sure that we help try and put on as many content creators as possible. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you can over there, man. And salute to Brock Bowers. The Bald Mamba is here. F your bracket coverage. Talk that shit, Brock Bowers. I love it. I love it. In terms of injuries right now, what are you guys looking like? I know JL Skinner was dealing with something, but pretty thin injury report this week.
Yeah.
You guys are pretty much good to go.
Yeah, that has been a pleasant surprise. But the weird thing is, like, we've had a lot of guys who go on IR and then they're not on the injury report. So you're like, oh, look, we're great. But you forget that we lost Audric Estime, who I know you love from Notre Dame. He looked so good. His first carry, 13 yards, hurdles a dude, breaks his ankle. He's supposed to be coming back next week. And then McGlinchey's out. And then Baron Browning, who is that last piece of that edge rush platoon, again on a contract year. And he's out again. He has 2 more weeks on IR. But other than that, we're getting this cat Devon Vele back, and built exactly like a Cortland Sutton, but a rookie. And he was our 7th round pick out of Utah as well. And basically we made the decision to go with him over Tim Patrick, who was one of my all-time favorite Broncos receivers. And he's supposed to be back this week. He was dealing with broken ribs or some rib injury, so he missed. But he was Bo Nix's favorite target week 1. I think he had 8 catches in the first week against Seattle. So that could be something to watch out for. Corner wise, you had a guy you held out. Like, how's your secondary looking?
Our secondary looks pretty good. Jack was benched. Jack Jones was benched the first quarter of this last game for business decisions. He came back and he played well for us. But we have a young kid, Jacorian Bennett, man, out of Maryland, 2nd-year guy. It's been outstanding for us on the other boundary. And then we have one of the better nickel corners and Nate Hobbs as well. So the secondaries look good. We kind of struggled at the safety position a little bit. Trayvon Merrick, a former, one of the best DBs at the collegiate level at TCU, was supposed to be a 1st-round pick, ended up falling to the 2nd round because of a back injury, which I don't even think really existed. But he struggled this year. And then we just lost our starter, Marcus Epps as well. But Isaiah Palomal, our young UDF at USC, ball for us last week. So you expect to see him, a lot of him this week, potentially some Chris Smith, the young kid out of Georgia. I think this is his 2nd year. And then hopefully Merritt can show up. But our DBs have looked good. Our DBs have looked good. This week we also are starting Tommy Eichenberg, our rookie out of Ohio State. He's a stud with him and Robert Spillane. I love that duo at the linebacker position. So it's going to be kind of difficult to run the football on us, I believe, because Spill and Tommy, man, they can play the run really well, and they can get to the quarterback.
Oh, man. Yeah, because if we don't get that going, I'm worried because Bo hasn't been sacked for 2 weeks in a row, and that has to continue if we want to win, because I think he hasn't had the offensive numbers of Russell Wilson, like yardage wise, but Sean Payton said the thing that drove him most nuts about Russell Wilson was all the unnecessary sacks he took. Yeah. And so while Bo only had 60 yards in the air last week, we got sacked 0 times. And if our run doesn't get going, we're dropping back to pass. And Maxx Crosby, I mean, I have flashbacks of when Khalil Mack had all those. It just seems like you are always in our backfield. And there's something about this matchup, dude. And if you beat us this week, it will take all the air out of our sails, man. Because this is like our Super Bowl already, because we haven't had.
Yeah, I heard you guys are having your alumni weekend as well, right?
Yeah, dude. So it's
personal.
Yeah, they're doing the throwback to 1977. So we're wearing the blue helmets with this on, the throwbacks we get 2 times a year, and redid the field. Like, it looks sick. And I think people are expecting us to run through you, and if that doesn't happen, I think it completely changes the narrative on our year.
Salute to our brother Jake as well, covers the chart at the AFC.
I know him. What's up, my man?
Salute to my guy Jake. Salute to Brock Bowers once again on the 5-hour special. This show is brought to you by Keeps. Keeping your hair has never been so easy. Salute to you, Brock. Salute to my guy. I want to ask you about a specific name, a guy that I was really high on in the draft. How has Chris Abrams-Drain look for you out there at the cornerback position early on?
Amazing training camp, and everyone was thinking he would have that spot across from Surtain. Yeah, but Riley Moss has balled out of control, so he has not played outside of the preseason. But yeah, coming in, I think he was the highest PFF graded corner in all of the preseason, and hasn't seen the field and mostly like special teams. But that's a cool thing to happen, like we got these guys under contract for a while, but I don't know if that's a piece of trade bait or you keep it with injuries and all that kind of thing. I
think you keep him. You got to hold on to him, man. He's a stud. He's a stud. And watched him at the collegiate level. That guy is look, you can't move on from a piece. Injuries happen week in and week out. Yeah. You don't want to see Riley Moss go down, but you definitely have a great backup behind him. Salute to Trip, man. What is Bo Nix's strength and his weaknesses?
Oh man, strength, leadership, quick processor, gets rid of the ball on time every single time. Again, 2 weeks in a row against good defenses, not getting sacked. Weaknesses is his footwork. He didn't line up under center a lot. Did that air raid offense. And it almost is like there's a whole other chapter of Peyton's playbook that we haven't even gotten to yet. And so if y'all have it schemed up for what you've seen so far, I think it's pretty stoppable. Yeah. And you just hope that our defense has bought him time to develop so that like we can flip to that next chapter and start to see some of the stuff Sean had with Drew Brees all those years.
Those 4 picks that Bo has thrown this season thus far, take me through those. Like, are they all on him? What was there? What was there?
Yeah. Well, I was an emotional basket case. I wept. And so one of them was a Hail Mary at the end of
I remember that one.
The Steelers game. So I feel like that doesn't really count.
It's a gimme.
Yep. And then 2 of them were just the dumbest throws you've ever seen in the red zone. One of them to the Seahawks, and that was awful. And then one of them, you're like, who was that to? And a lot of them were targeting Cortland Sutton, almost like, hey, I got to get Sutton going. Because you remember in the roundtable, first 2 weeks, you're like, Sutton didn't even get targeted. Yeah. And so it's kind of like what we saw with Travis Kelce getting over targeted, and that Rashee Rice injury happened because Mahomes forced it to 3. A triple defended Taylor Swift's boyfriend. So
the leaders right now for the Broncos offensively, I know Cortland Sutton is leading you guys in receiving yards, about 200 yards, 192. Javonte Williams, 129 on the ground so far this season. We talked about Bo Nix and his 660 yards in the air. I know right now on the defensive side of the ball, you guys were dealt a big blow in Alex Singleton. What's going on over there?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, he's your mod father, he's the green dot guy for this defense. He's calling the plays, and to me, like the cool part of that story was like that happened on Sunday night. We went away and we like stayed at this like frat party camp and like paintball and stuff. And then it didn't leak to the media until Wednesday afternoon. And Sean Payton's like, oh yeah, by the way, Singleton blew his ACL and he's out the rest of the year. And you're like, how do you not hear about like your best tackler tearing his ACL for 4 full days, you know? So that's cool. Like Sean really does have like this locker room locked down. And I do think they're all in step. I know you get like John Gruden vibes from him. And if that's the case, we're in trouble. I think the team likes him. Like there's some things that makes me think people do like Sean Payton, but we're fixing to find out for sure. But with him, we got this guy, Cody Barton from Seattle. He's kind of a journeyman. He stepped in and looked good. And then we signed Quan Alexander on the Wednesday. He didn't play on Sunday, but there's rumors that he'll play this week. And then we had this cat who balled out in the preseason, Justin Stranad, and he had the first sack of Aaron Rodgers on Sunday and really set the tone. I think it was the fastest into the backfield that entire week. Like it was like a sack that happened in like 2.95 seconds or something wild like that. So
is that the weakest room on the defense side of the ball?
Oh yeah. And it was before the season too, which is again why I'm terrified of Brock, dude, and terrified of that running game getting going. If you're in 2 tight end sets, we haven't seen it yet because I think all these teams have had such great, you know, you're talking DK Metcalf, you're talking Pickens, all these ones who've had awesome receivers. So we haven't seen those 2 tight end sets. And if you line up in those, it could be a long day and ruin my year. So don't do it.
Luke has to get his shit together though. Look, we thought we were going to be running a lot more 12 this year. You know, Luke has not been able to get this offense gelling at all. We've seen bright spots here and there, and it was that fourth quarter in Baltimore where the O kind of took off a little bit. But, I mean, even last week, we found a way to beat Cleveland. We were down 10-0 at one point, found a way to just kind of, you know, get some things going. But this offense is struggling, man. And this is why I think this is going to be a low-scoring game because, you know, we said this on the AFC West Roundtable, the pre-recorded, that this is kind of the battle of the mids, Ben. Like, real talk, we're both 2-2. We're in the basement of our division. And we both need a win desperately, and especially with the Raiders and AP, man, dealing with this Davante Adams situation. You know, there's a lot of noise, you know, and toxicity around our team right now. And I know that, you know, a lot of our players are they're gonna get around the other leaders. Maxx Crosby is definitely out there getting them all together today, and I'm getting them prepared for Sunday. But this is a must-win game for both of us in Week 5, man. You guys got the alumni thing going on out there, and this is not a shocker that you did a Raider week. Like this is the week that they're like these eight wins in a row. It has to stop now. The bleeding has to stop now. So I know why they did that. This means a lot to both fan bases. I want to just get a final score. We're not out of here yet. We're still going to talk a little bit, but give me a projected score with this game. And be honest, I don't want to hear Bo Nix throwing for 6-7 touchdowns because I'm not going to say Minshew's going to do it. I want an honest assessment of what you got projected as a score.
I think we win. I think if Crosby's in, because when I was doing it earlier in the week, if he's in, and I just saw a thing on Twitter where he's doing the Steph Curry like Euro step, and I'm like, crap, dude. If he's in, I think the Broncos win 24-21, and if he's not, I think we beat you as handily as we beat Tampa Bay.
Whoa! So you have so without Max, you blowing us out at home.
Oh yeah, without Max, I think we'll blow you out. I really do.
Wow.
But the thing that gives me pause is last week when you were down 10-0, I turned on that game, and also like you saying like, oh, our offense isn't good. Cleveland's defense is an incredible defense, dude, and you came back 10-0 on them.
Oh,
and
no.
I think
they were the number 1 defense in the league, I believe, last year.
Yes. And so to do that and to Baltimore, I think you're short credit or like not giving all the credit that you probably should.
Okay.
And so that's what gives me pause. I just think my hope is that like if we can get up early, all the drama, all the Edgar Allan Poe stuff, all the NCAA sanctions, all of that, like they just give up. And altitude, you know, first game, it's pretty early in the season. Broncos usually have a really huge home field advantage in September. Guys aren't as good a shape at that point, and Sean Payton is the winningest coach in the month of October. So I just hope if we get up early that we blow it out. But the thing that gives me pause is Cleveland was up early on you last week, and I was expecting you guys to phone it in, and you didn't. After business decisions and all that kind of stuff. So it's
You're
going to
telling me
be
Sean Payton is the Kirk Cousins of October in coaching.
Mr. Primetime. It's a fact, a cold hard fact.
Salute
What are
Trip.
you thinking, man? What's your score prediction?
I have a low scoring game. This is, to me, is going to be, well, not, I can't say that low. Okay, this is a divisional game. Both teams are going to be up for it. I have like a 20-17. 20-17. I got Daniel Carlson. Field goal as time expires to beat you guys a mile high.
Oh, dude. I would take a sick day for a round table. I couldn't handle that, man. Because our seasons, like, I know you say this is a must win for both, but it's way more must win for us because we haven't had hope in 8 years. Nobody expects Gardner Minshew to be the quarterback of your future. You're going to get a first round pick for Davante. You're like set.
We would be lucky to get a first round pick. To be honest, Ben, I think we end up with a third and like a fifth or something, bro.
Dude, that is garbage.
It's because of the contract, because he's going to have to restructure some things, move some. If it wasn't for his age and that massive contract, which is $40 million next year, $40 million the following year, that's tough to move, man. You know what I mean? Now the Jets, if they're really that desperate to say we're going all in with Aaron Rodgers this year and potentially next year, and we need Davante, we might be able to finesse him out of something. You know what I mean? But I don't see that really happening. I think if at best we get a third and a player, at worst we maybe get like a third and potentially a later round pick.
You'll get if that's the offer, dude. Broncos should send it, man. I'm telling you, dude, like that, he is worth so much. I'd be furious if I only got a third for him. Yeah. If I were you, like, I think I
also remember that he's going to miss another week or so with that hamstring injury. So, you know, so that they can use that as well at the negotiation table. Like, look, he's 30 plus years old. He's dealing with a hamstring injury. You know, this is what we have for you. Take it or leave it. You know what I mean? Because at this point, we have to move Davante. I'm all for taking the best deal, but I'm also trying to get him the hell out of here immediately. So we don't have to deal with this distraction anymore. You see today on Instagram, and I don't find it a coincidence that he's playing around on Instagram after AP did the same thing. You know what I mean? And so it's actually funny, but I got 2017 close game. I mean, these divisional games usually, I have it looking like the Atlanta Tampa Bay game last night. Yeah. You know, we have in recent memory, there's a few times we've actually went out there and kicked y'all ass, but there were a few close games too. You know what I mean? So, and I'm expecting
a field goal game. Yeah. The first game of the season last year we opened and it's just, I can't believe how long it's been since we beat you, man. It's like before COVID, like that's just so long, man. We got it.
Never beat the Las Vegas Raiders ever.
I know.
It's crazy. Salute the Trip. Are you more afraid of Minshew or AOC?
That's definitely a question I'd love to hear your take on. I think Minshew mania is a thing, and the vibes that come with him are legit. You saw what he did. He's having a statistical down year, but he's a leader of men, and he has the arm talent. So probably Minshew. How about you?
I mean, I'm an Aiden guy, but I'm not a major fan of either one of them. Don't get it mistaken, but I would rather have Aiden O'Connell. But it's the Minshew show right now. You know what I mean? I can't be upset about it. We got through the first quarter of the season with all the drama that's surrounding this team. We're 2-2. I mean, Ben, if anybody would have said, if you're a betting man and you start the year 2-2, I would have had us beating the Chargers and beating the Panthers and losing to two playoff teams in the Ravens and the Browns. So we caught the Ravens. I mean, the Browns at a good time, you know, where they're struggling to figure it out with Watson. You know, Flacco and them boys were gelling last year. And then we caught Baltimore lacking. They were real lackadaisical out there in Baltimore. We caught them in that fourth quarter, you know what I mean? And the wheels are starting to turn again out there in Baltimore, which we knew it was going to happen because they're a great, well-coached, well-oiled machine. But, I mean, look, if we're going into this week, I'm going to say right now, if I had to pick, it's going to be Minshew. I truly believe that Minshew can go out there and get it done, but we have to give him a ground attack, man. We have to get the run game going because you can't expect to throw Minshew out there to win football games with his arm. You can't, man. You know what I mean? And one thing about him is sometimes I feel like he just escapes the pocket way too quick. And sometimes I go look at the film on purpose because I'm like, maybe the offense, the O-line is just not allowing him enough time to see the field. No, like there's just times where the O-line is blocking tremendously in front of him and he's just out of the pocket and trying to create plays with his legs. And then, you know, the turnovers are still a scary thing, especially with the defense that you guys are putting out there. You know what I mean? So salute to Marcus's way. So that young corner opposite of Surtain, which he's talking about Riley. I believe Riley Moss. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, Marcus, facts. And he's a Missouri Missouri?
I
No,
think Iowa,
Iowa.
right?
Iowa.
Yep,
Yeah,
one of
Iowa.
those. Yeah, but
Salute to
yeah,
Mitch.
4.340 dude, and looks
Yeah.
great.
He's a stud. That mile high thin air then got Ben to Ben's head Graphk. Nasty work. Raiders. Salute to my guy, Raider Mitch.
What's our bet? Like, I gotta yell that on a round table, or you have to believe. If the Broncos win, you have to end saluting and saying, "I believe," and I'll yell Raiders
You'll hear
Nation
right
is
here
the
first.
best.
I will give the mile high salute on the AFC West roundtable. I got you. I'm not saying I'll do the salute, but you have to give us the loudest Raiders in the world, bro, if we beat you guys for the ninth consecutive time. Oh, I like that, 182. You know what? Let's do some push-ups. Salute the NFL Mike.
Pour one out. Pour one out for him.
Now, that's the deal. Mile high salute, Raiders. We're going to do it like that. Salute to JT. Davante's not dumb. He knows that a near 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers coming off a huge injury and playing horrible is not going to get it done. Salute to my guy, JT. And I still believe he's going to end up being a Jet. So,
dude, but like now there's like 5 teams who want him. I guarantee you you get a first pick for him. Because you got Saints, Ravens, like all these. Oh.
No, real quick. I'm listening to you, bro. But Daniel Cap said, Graphk, if they win, you got to do it. Let's ride.
Oh, please, no. That is done. That's Broncos country. Let's ride. Oh, God.
No, I'm going to do the mile hustle. But finish that thought, my brother.
Yeah, I mean, you got Saints want him. It sounds like San Fran wants him. Jets want him. Baltimore with the Edgar Allan Poe stuff today. You have a bidding war now, and you're going to get a first-round pick for him. And the Chiefs want him. Like, would you do that? Would you do a first-round pick for the Chiefs? You'd rather have –
No.
Yeah.
No, there's no way, because he'll go out there and win a Super Bowl, and we have to eat that for the rest of our life.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I would never.
Yeah. No. Salute to East Coast. Riley ran a 4.45 out of Iowa, opposite of Cooper DeJean. He's a stud too. I had him at the number 5 corner on my board last year, and I got crushed. Interviewed him as well. He's a stud.
Dang. Yeah, I mean, he got interviewed by the Minnesota Vikings, and they how they like released some of the interview tapes and stuff, like all the weird questions they ask, and like, would you be scared guarding Justin Jefferson? And he was like, no, like I wouldn't be scared at all. So he's like a dog, man. He really is.
Salute to Hug as well, man. Gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. Salute to my guy. We got 900 people here in the building, y'all. Make sure you hit them thumbs up. Wipe them.
I wish I didn't see. I'm glad you didn't tell me that earlier. I would have been like pitting out, bro.
It's funny, you guys. Ben is a good friend of mine, really good dude. I told him to death, so we're gonna take it light, man. Ben was trippy. He's like, man, because he doesn't do lives. He does pre-recorded work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And phenomenal camera work and cuts and everything. You do great work over there, brother. I have to tell you. But man, hey, this is the wave, man. This is the wave,
dude. I see how your guys show up when you give them like 2-second notice, like, hey, going live, and it's like, and you got a sweet community here.
Hey, we have a great fan base, brother.
Not a great team, but a sweet community.
Salute to David Zahn, gifting 5 OLV Raider Network memberships as well. My brother, man, Zahn, I appreciate you so much. You guys, get some questions in for Ben, man. If you have any questions about the team that we are facing this week, the Denver Broncos, make sure to get some questions in. We'll go live about 15, 20 more minutes. We're going to hit that hour mark, and we're going to let our brother Ben skedaddle and do father and stuff thing. You already know, because I'm about to go throw the football around with my son too. So,
yeah, dude. It's a sunny day.
Being crazy, bro. Side note, I'm at my son's practice yesterday. They're 4-0. Big game tomorrow. Their starting quarterback snaps his arm, bro. Snaps it in half, bro, in front of all the kids, dog. I'm talking about insane, bro. Star quarterback snapped it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, bro. Like, wow.
And you probably know his parents and like.
His dad is the head coach.
Oh,
it's nasty, man. So prayers to my boy Cam, man. Disgusting. Dang. Broncos country is officially Raiders country.
You know what? I'm so confident if I will yell the loudest Raiders, and I will say that on Sports Talk on our roundtable if the Broncos lose, because dude, the wind is at our back. Like my mom. Yes, shout out my mom, everybody.
Is she in the building for real?
Yeah, she is. She's in there.
Oh, man, salute to Mama Ben.
I don't think she knows how to chat, but
it's all good.
Salute Hugdies did ask if she was hot, and I'll shoot you a pic for Hugdies, and you can.
Bro, keep it PG, Hug. Come on, man.
Thanks.
Mama's in the building. Salute to Hug, though, my brother.
Don't ask what he's talking about with D's. Who knows? Yeah.
Yo, salute to JT. You guys ever heard of Brendan Perna? Oh yeah, the Broncos He has
He's
like
basically the
$100,000
U. He's like the U for Broncos. Like
No,
yeah,
no.
yeah, he is.
Bro, he has like 600,000 subscribers, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, he's the biggest Broncos one. You're the biggest Raiders one, so it's like
No,
the
I
same
appreciate
thing.
that, brother.
Yeah.
That means a lot to me, man. But yes, JT, and he's actually funny. Somebody hit me up on Instagram today and was like, "You need to check him out. We should bring him on the show." I went over there and watched a show today. I didn't even know he existed. I'm like, wow, he was a funny dude. He had another guy on cam with him. They put on a good show.
Yeah, he hates the Raiders though, so he probably would. He'd come on if we won, but if we lost, he would never even think about it. You know, once we break the streak, then he'd pop on.
So, look, Brock Bauer says hello to Ben.
I never should have told you guys.
God, Brock, come on, man. Y'all gotta chill, bro.
Out of this, guys.
Y'all gotta chill. What are you most worried about? No, matter of fact, let me do this. Give me 2 players on each side of the ball that we should be the most worried about this week. And I'm not talking about just because they're big name guys. When you watch our team and you think there's 2 players on the defense side of the ball, 2 players on the offense side of the ball that can expose what we got going on out there in Las Vegas. Give me 2 on offense, 2 on defense. And I'll give you mine as well.
Yeah. So defense, I think Zach Allen, if he can get that pressure up the middle again, and make
is this
Gardner
Zach
panic.
Allen, Boston College, Zach Allen?
Yep, and he played in Arizona with Vance, and they called him Baby JJ Watt then, and just he studied JJ, and like that's what we thought we were getting last year, and he's really come on this year and looks fantastic. And he, like I said, he is outperforming Wilkinson on all the PFF rankings for the first 4 weeks. I don't expect that all season long, but and if he can get that kind of pressure again, that's going to be scary for you. And then obviously Surtain, if he can lock down Myers or just a half of the field, I think that combo really, if you can get the pass rush and your corners can hold up, like that's why we've looked so good on defense. So I'd say those are the 2 dudes on D. On offense, oh man.
It's difficult, right? Because I know you're a Bronco fan and I know you want to big up your team.
Oh, totally.
But they're struggling.
Yeah.
Is there a player on the O-line maybe that you like?
Yeah. I mean, Quinn Minor, they call him the belly, and everybody laughed. He got drafted where he did because it was during COVID lockdowns, and he put all these videos on YouTube of him blocking trees and crap.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wisconsin Whitewater with his shirt off.
Yeah.
And we just gave him the bag, and I think he's the 2nd highest paid guard in the league and has looked fantastic, and just he can do it all. And so I would say if he can keep opening holes, and then Vele, if he's back. And I would say, like, we have a lot of hope in Marvin Mims, and Franklin, but they haven't.
What the hell is going on with Franklin? Him and Bo Nix, they went to school together.
I know.
Why is he not out there like that? Like that connection should be solid.
I know, and that's been what's been the most shocking thing for everyone. And I've heard, that rookie wide receivers, it's like halfway through the season it clicks for him, but then you look at who's that cat in the Giants who's balling out of control. Yeah.
I mean, you look at Arizona, you look at all these young rookies, they're cooking right now.
Yep.
But there's a difference between having a young rookie wide receiver and having a young rookie wide receiver that was drafted with the quarterback that he went to school with.
For that reason, like Bo Nix went to bat for him. Sean Payton called him and was like, "Hey, do you want him?" And he's like, "Yes." And so I think if either of those guys get going, or if like we can start to use Marvin Mims like the Chiefs are using Xavier Worthy, that's terrifying. So we have like a lot of theoretical, terrifying things that I believed all off season long. We have yet to see it with real football, but like I could talk all day about like how I think Vele is going to be great. I was hoping Dulcich was going to be great. I know you like Dulcich at UCLA, but he has looked horrible this year. But 2 years ago with Russ in the Jacksonville game in London, he just had 90 yards receiving in 1 drive almost. So, but we haven't seen it yet. So how about you? What are the, obviously you got Crosby or
defensive side of the ball. I mean, I'm not even going to go Max because we already know the defense goes as Max goes, but we found a way to win last week without him. I think it starts with Christian Wilkins. I want to see some pressure up the middle. I truly do. I think Wilkins needs to have a big game, especially with Max, dealing with that ankle injury. Like I said, I don't know how many reps Max is actually going to get. I think that AP is going to kind of rotate him in and out. I don't think they're going to rush him out there like that because a high ankle sprain, you know how that is, Ben. That can linger for a long time. So I'm going to go with Christian Wilkins on the defensive side of the ball. I think at linebacker, it starts with Robert Spillane. He's led us in tackles damn near every week. He is a leader of that defense. at the linebacker position, he's been phenomenal for us in coverage, which we were actually shocked about that because when he came over from the Pittsburgh Steelers in free agency, we labeled him a thumper, and he's been a really great cover linebacker for us thus far, and he plays the run well, and he can actually blitz and get to the quarterback. Those two guys I'm looking at very closely. I'm not too worried about the passing game. That's no knock on you. I don't think that Jack Jones and Jacorian Bennett are going to get too much work. I truly don't. I think those guys set the tone for us defensively. Brock Bowers, clear cut for me, is the difference maker on the offensive side of the ball. If you get him going, I think we can absolutely we can run over you guys.
Yeah, you can.
Brock is that good. But Colton Miller, our left tackle, he has struggled all year long coming off of a shoulder injury. We need that old Colton Miller back. If he can play well for us on the left side and protect Gardner Minshew's blind side, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be fine. But a lot rides on Colton Miller because y'all defensive line is stacked, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they're stacked. And I'm worried about Gardner going down a lot this upcoming Sunday if Colton Miller can't play his role. So he's still hurt a little bit, banged up. Like I said, shoulder surgery this offseason. And he's been like a cusp Pro Bowl, all pro kind of player damn near his whole career outside of his rookie year where he struggled with injuries. So Colton Miller, Brock Bowers, and then I'll throw another wild card out there. I think Alexander Madison, because we got to get the run game going. If we can't get the run game going, I think we're in for a long day because I cannot count on Gardner Minshew to throw against that stout Denver defense.
Yeah. Madison's the one who kind of got going against the Chargers, right? Like his average yards per touch was like pretty wild.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said Elway had a losing record versus the Raiders.
That can't be true, is it? I can't believe our like series again. In my mind, because I started loving the Broncos with Shanahan, so I always felt like we had your number. And then
what's funny? It actually shocked me. I'm going to bring this back up.
Yeah.
We talked about that on the AFC West roundtable. So it is tied in the postseason results 1-1. Largest victory for you guys, 44-7 and 62. Largest victory for us, 51-0 and 67. Longest win streak, 8 for you guys, 2011 to 2015. 14 for us from 65 to 71, and present now 8. We hold the all-time series 73 wins to 54. I thought it would be closer than that.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, so that's crazy, man. All time, 129 meetings. So there you have it, man.
Yeah, we're doing the 1977 throwback to it, and that was the year the Broncos beat the Raiders in the playoffs. So that better continue.
I got a feeling we're going to see a Darren McFadden type laugh on the sideline this week as we go into Mile High and escape with the W. Salute to JT. He said, dude, you went to UW Whitewater. I played wide receiver. Go Warhawks.
Yeah, well, that's where Quinn Meinerz went. So yeah, crazy, man. That's awesome. That's it. That's a cool part. You can pick people up anywhere, and to get a guy who went to UW Whitewater, there's just not that big of a gap sometimes,
Yeah. Oh, so it is. So it's 13-15. Okay.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
LA.
That's crazy.
In my lifetime, when I watched, that's when it matters. Once we got Shanahan, game over, dude. We owned you.
Salute to everybody here. And I'm going to ask you real quick. What does the special teams unit look like?
Well, good. Like, we haven't had kickoff returns, but we've been pinning dudes back. We had a punting competition in camp, and so I was like, well, yeah, Riley Dixon's played well as a good punter, and he's certainly gotten some work in as we've gone 3 and out way too many times, but he's been able to flip the field. I think we had last year, we had Marvin Mims make the Pro Bowl as a returner, and we haven't seen that yet out of him. He is returning kicks and punts, but we haven't seen him break loose yet. So hoping this week that would turn it right away. How about for you guys?
Oh, it's looked pretty well. We got some depth. Usually our Raider teams, we don't really have a lot of depth, and it shows on the special teams unit. So we've looked pretty good. I'm still waiting for McAllister or Trey Tucker, one of those guys, to take one back to the crib. It's been way too long since we've had a touchdown on the special team side of things. So I'm waiting on. I think the last one we had was against you guys with Dwayne. What was brother's name? Remember, he got the football at the 1 yard line. He picked it up last second and ran off. It was in Oakland.
I totally remember that.
Who the hell was it? It's my guy too. I'm over here drawing a blank right now. He was a phenomenal special teams guy too. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank right now.
You remember how Sean
Dwayne Harris.
Okay, definitely remember that. Do you remember how Sean Payton opened the season against y'all last year in his first game as a Bronco head coach? He tried an onside kick and we didn't get it.
Yep.
And that just death spiral from there. So at least the new kickoff, like you got to tell people when you're doing onside kicks. We haven't seen any of those this year.
Let me ask you this. I'm gonna throw some names out there. Give me some predictions on production. We're gonna start with your guy, Bo Nix. What does he look like on Sunday?
You saw Kirk Cousins last night. He's
500 yards.
Don't
do that.
More yards.
Don't do it, Ben.
Write it down. Yeah.
So he's damn near going to match all of his production in 4 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah. So everything he's done. I think Bo Nix throws for 250 yards.
Okay.
And I think this will be his first multi-touchdown game. I think he's got 2 touchdown passes. The other thing people don't think about Bo is that his wheels are pretty crazy. Like he didn't run the 40 or anything like that, but he's
pretty mobile.
Yeah, he has more his top speed. He's run, I don't remember the stat, but it was crazy that he was as fast as Derrick Henry more times this season than he has been. And he was our leading rusher until last week, and then Javonte jumped him. So maybe Max gets in and he gets around him. That could be huge for us if he could do that.
So 250, 2 touchdowns, any turnovers?
No way, man. No,
he's 4 this year.
Bo Nix. No, Bo knows. Has there ever been a Bo in professional football? Bo knows. The original Bo.
The original Bo, huh?
Yes, he's the original Bo.
You must not be hip to the original Bo.
Because he blew his hip out. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, Bo Jackson. What's your prediction on Gardner's passing?
I'll be honest. I don't have him having a crazy game. I think potentially maybe around 150 to 160 in the air. I'll say a touchdown and a pick. I think that most of the points are going to come from the ground game and goal line situations. If we can find our way there, it's going to be Alexander Mattison and maybe a Brock special. He still hasn't had a touchdown yet at the NFL level, so I'm waiting for that. So I got Brock with 1, but I'll say somewhere. I'm going to keep it modest because you guys have a phenomenal defense. So 150, 160 in the air. I'll say a touchdown. You know what? I'm going to give Gardner a little bit more credit. I'll go 2 touchdowns in the air and he'll throw a pick. I got Surtain coming down with 1.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man. Yeah, a lot of people just haven't even thrown at him, so he hasn't had a ton of chances at it. How about Brock? What's his – how many – if he's over 70 yards pass, we'll lose. Do you think he goes over that?
The thing is this. The more you talk about how we could potentially exploit those linebackers with Brock, I'm salivating a little bit, right? Because I'm like, Brock can kill the middle of that field. But he lines up all over the place, Ben. He's in the slot. He's at the X. He's at H-back. He's all over the place. I feel like this can be a breaking out party for Brock Bowers. I don't have 70. I have potentially about 110.
That would be a nightmare. Do you remember when in the roundtable you said they were going to line Brock up everywhere?
Yep.
And NFL Mike's like, no, they won't. And then they did.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. This is a great memory. Yeah. Great distant memory there.
Yeah.
But I got Alexander Madison. I love that my boy Cal Davis said as well. Madison running for 120. I wouldn't go there. I'm hoping that Alexander Madison can run for 100 piece. You know what I mean? I would love that. But I think he does get a touchdown. He's been our goal line guy up to this point with Zamir out too. I don't see them going to the 30-plus Amir Abdullah in a goal line situation. I don't see us going to our young rook, Lauby, if he's active. I think that Alexander Madison can have a big game. So definitely. But you know what, man? I did say Brock, but I have to kind of go back to what I said initially is maybe Jacoby Myers. Maybe you can flip-flop that. Maybe it can be a 70 Brock, 70 Jacoby, split down the middle a little bit. We shall see, because it'd be difficult if he had 150 passing yards and Brock has 110. Then you that other 40 yards.
Yeah.
It's kind of nasty. So it'd be just a complete Brock show, but I got to throw that into the mix too. I think Alexander Madison can have a big game. I'm not going to go 120 though, Davis. And 2 TDs. I'm not going to go that far because we have struggled on the ground game. We did have over 100 yards this past week, but this Denver defense is different. It's different. So I'll probably say with Alexander Madison, I'll give him anywhere from 75 to 90 in a touchdown.
Yeah, if AP comes out and has truly like unified these dudes and is like, we're gonna run the ball down their throat, you could see that. And the crazy thing in this 8-game losing streak, that's happened to us before, where we're stopping everybody, and then you're like, how is this happening? And that was last year when playoffs were kind of on the line. And
yeah.
You
know what? I've been saying this for 3 weeks, and I'm going to continue to put it out there until it happens. I have Jacorian Bennett with the pick this week. I think that Bo Nix is going to test our second-year guy. You know, Jack Jones is going to be very aggressive on the other end with Courtland Sutton, and I have a feeling he's going to target whoever it is on the opposite boundary, and Jacorian's going to come down with one. And even though Max is dealing with that ankle injury, he loves the Denver Broncos, baby. I got 3.5 sacks from Maxx Crosby.
We'll lose 1,000% if that happens.
3.5.
That's he has the talent to do it, and that's why I was hoping he wasn't going to play.
He wants to make up for last week, Ben. He didn't get a chance to play, and he's looking at that Defensive Player of the Year award and saying, "I can still win that with missing a week." I got 3.5, man. Why not?
Totally. Well, the thing with Sean is he is. I know you don't like him. I love him. Like, I have a Sean Payton tattoo. I don't know. Is this okay? I'll keep my shirt on. We pop the tops at the end. The thing with Sean is like he wants to prove everyone that he was right about Bo, and that's why he's trying to throw the ball 50 times a game with a rookie quarterback. So I think that's why he got into those interception situations. So if he's smart and like doesn't need to be like proved everyone how right he was on Bo, and we set up the run, we shouldn't have to throw as much as we have.
But that's the problem though, Ben. Like with Sean Payton, it's like, do you want to literally shatter this kid's confidence in year one? Like, he's had to throw the ball more than any quarterback in the NFL up to this point, or damn near top 3, top 5. Has to be. That's 100%. Nasty.
Yeah, and and Denver fans, we are so fickle because we've had Manning and Elway, and like we've had good quarterbacks, so we run them out of town. Like, I think Drew Lock could have been the dude if we'd given him more runway. So that's what's scary. And we went Bridgewater, Flacco, and all that. Yeah.
Salute to Ridgeback, man. Jenkins and Butler will clog those gaps. Wilson will penetrate the edge, and Chasen and Snowden will have their parents dancing again. Talk, my brother Ridgeback. Talk. I love it, man. I love it. And Snowden had a big game for us last week, man. So I'm expecting him to come out and show out again with Malcolm Kuntz out for the year. And we, you know what, we finally heard Tyree Wilson's name a few times last week, our second-year guy, you know, out of Texas Tech, top 10 pick. So hopefully, man, we hear his name again. But Snowden definitely bought out, and Chasen was a bright spot for us as well. A kid that was just cut from the Carolina Panthers, and we were a little nervous about it. We're like, you getting cut by the Carolina Panthers? Former first-round pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars, was a great player at LSU. He showed some signs of life last week too. So look, man, this is going to be defense versus defense here, man. It is.
Sure.
You know, and if any team is used to this altitude in Denver, it's us. We play you guys twice. You know, we play you guys every year. You know, I understand you guys have the home field advantage regardless because you play there all year round. But I'm not too much worried about that, man, because we've literally beat you guys 4 times the last 8 years there.
I disagree. Okay, we are going to boat race you. And that is a fact. That is a fact. Hey, can we agree on one thing here?
It depends.
Okay, the Chiefs, what they're doing with Rashee Rice and trying to hide the injury. Albert Breer just had an article that the reason they haven't come out and said that he's out for the year, which he should be, is because they're hoping he can double dip his suspension by putting him on short-term IR, even though he should be out the whole season. Roger Goodell should not allow that to happen. I guarantee you, if he was a Raider, that would not be happening.
Bro, if he was a Raider, he would have never got injured in the first place. He'd be suspended all year.
Totally, man. And he's going to get to serve his suspension while he has a torn ACL and isn't telling anybody about it.
This is the best way to end this show. Let's talk shit about the Chiefs.
Exactly, dude. Exactly, man.
There you go. I love it. Yeah. Rashee Rice, rotten hell.
Yes.
Andy Reid, rotten hell.
Yep. Look like the Kool-Aid pitcher, Andy Reid. All right. Lay off Uber Eats, Andy. Okay.
He's stupid, man. Yeah. Real quick, man. Salute to everybody here in the building, man. 900 still strong, whether you're watching on Twitter or YouTube. Thank you guys so much for pulling up, man. And hanging out with me and my brother Ben, man. Big game this Sunday for both teams. Raiders Broncos week. We will be covering the game over here. Watch party. You got anything going on for the game?
No, but maybe if we're up, I'll pop on if you'll
No,
have me.
no, you won't.
Oh, okay.
No, you.
If we're down, I'm not popping on.
Wait till
There's no way.
Tuesday, and if that happens, I may have to use my PTO. So,
Oh, well,
but
we're the
no.
same.
Hey, brother, if you want to pop in at any given point, man, it doesn't matter if you're up, down, it doesn't matter. If you want to pull up, come have some fun with me and my brother Hammer. We'll be covering the game. So,
Sweet, man. Well, you are a pro, dude. This is a lot of fun.
my brother, man. Salute to everybody also here, and salute to our brother Ben for coming through. Brave individual. He knows how Raider fans, he know how we are. He was a little worried at first, but he knows that now we show a lot of love.
They're good dudes. So, they're good dudes.
Once again, you guys, if you want to go support our guy, go over there and hit the subscribe button. Sports Talk Denver. Let's get him up to 20K this year, man. Why not? Salute to our brother Ben. As always, I appreciate you, brother. And if I don't see you this Sunday, we'll hang out Tuesday night. Send me your email as well. I'm going to send this to you right after.
Sweet, man. I'll throw it on mine too. And believe.
My brother, man. Salute to our brother Ben. And salute to everybody here in the building, as always. On the way out, wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate you guys so much. Salute, salute, salute. Let me find this music. I'm out. One.
That's what I'm talking about.